For all of you still contemplating your festive fare, lamb this cute and expensive is off the menu. We're talking about the very distinctive looking Vallis black nose sheep, a Swiss breed farmed by a handful of breeders in New Zealand. After Wairarapa breeder Christine Reid took her flock to the Canterbury AMP show, they became a bit of a social media sensation. And just last week, a few new bundles arrived, so we couldn't resist a catch-up.
They just look cute. They look like one of the rag dolls that you might get in your child's collection of toys. And they've just got cute little black faces, little black ears, and a little white tuffet, curly locks to the front of their faces. Little black knee pads and little black feet. And if you turn them around, you can see they've got black on the tips of their back, what you call elbows, I suppose, or hocks as well. And so that's the first part of it, but the second bit is really their personalities. They have the sweetest, most endearing personalities. They're more like your family dog or family pet than they are a sheep. They're very inquisitive. They're renowned in the Swiss Alps where they're from in terms of following trampers around on the trails. They just love people company, and so they'll follow you about. They'll run up to you to see what you're up to. Just as they behave quite differently from other sheep. They're not at all stupid. They'll almost put themselves into the sheep yards when you need to do something with them, so they're never a problem.
I noticed they've got that unusual pattern, as you say, and that little tuft of hair which looks like a perm out of the 1980s. And you've got some newbies at the moment, haven't you? How many little ones have you got?
Yeah, so we were delighted 2 weeks ago. My business partners, Lindsay and Sally Strasty from near Motueka, and I have been doing this in a joint venture. And we've just welcomed, I've had another 5 lambs born 2 weeks ago, and they've also got a similar number of lambs. We had a rather imbalance of males this time, not as many girls as we'd like, but just delighted with the quality. They are the first lambs born out of our own ewes, which we took embryos from just last year. So these are actually the second generation of ewes of lambs in New Zealand from the imported stock that we brought in, and just fabulously marked little lambs.
So how much does one of them go for? How much are they worth?
Well, yeah, that's a really good question. And in the UK, where we imported them from Scotland and from Northumberland, they're still selling ewe lambs, or ewes are selling for around 10,000 New Zealand dollars each.
$10,000? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And we estimate at the moment, the embryos cost us $2,000 each to bring into the country. And if you're lucky, half of those might successfully implant into the ewe, and then half of those, if you're lucky, might be girls. So we estimate about it costs us between $10,000 and $20,000 to get a good ewe lamb on the ground. So this is not a cheap exercise.
No,
and
Christine,
it's full of risks as well. Yes,
that's an expensive roast. 10K.
Oh well, thankfully we'll never eat these. They're too cute to eat, and they'll always be. They'll always retain their value. So they've been in the UK now for 5 years, and they're still maintaining very high prices.
So are they pets, really, then? Is that what you breed them for?
Yeah, absolutely. So they are pets. As I say, they're more like your family dog than they are a sheep. And people on lifestyle blocks really, like myself actually, just like to have something a bit different and something cute in their paddocks, not just your average run-of-the-mill sheep.
Seeing as it is the Christmas season, no special requests for starring roles in the Nativity?
Not yet, but they would make an ideal little lamb to be surrounding a manger.